Righty guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the Ironman. So recently I've been training a lot of Slayer, hitting 18.6 million experience, getting ourselves a nice drop at the end of the last video. There's still a few that we need to do, but for all intents and purposes, we're ticking off a lot of the boxes. So one thing that goes hand in hand with Slayer, in 2025 at least, is prayer training. Often if you're doing a task, either big bones, Dragon Bones more specifically, or the various ashes that have been introduced into the game, when combined with the offering spells, give you a huge injection of prayer experience. We're sitting at 95 right now, with 420k until 96, but aside from getting myself prayer experience on task, I'm also getting a lot of bones noted from things like Hydra and various other monsters. If we check in with my bank, I can have a look at what I've actually got banked. And when it comes to bones at the very least, I've got over 5,000 dragon bones. These aren't something that I've been going out of my way to collect, they've just found their way into my bank account. I also have some bone shards left over. I don't have many. I believe if I cut down the sun-kissed bones, I'll get a little bit more than this. But essentially, long story short, I've got a lot of prayer experience in my bank account ready to go. I'm not too far off 96, and I want to see how far I can stretch things. Now obviously the prayer experience or the banked experience plugin is great, but the calculations, they kind of rely on me going to the Wildy altar. So I think what I'm going to do is a cheap kind of method to go to the Wildy altar. I'm going to teleport to the cemetery on the Arceus spellbook. I'm going to run up with one single inventory of dragon bones and then see how that goes. These dragon bones, they take a long time to obtain, and I don't want to take multiple inventories of bones to the wilderness, get dropped on my forehead multiple times and get sad. I'm just going to take it slow and steady and take it nice and safe. So first things first, we're going to swap over to the Arceus spellbook. The cemetery spell, it's a little bit expensive. It is going to cost me a couple of inventory spaces. I don't know the rune pouch mechanics. In theory, if I took a rune pouch, put those 3 runes in it, teleport to the wilderness and died, I don't know if I lose those runes or the pouch or anything like that. I think because it's over 20 wilderness, maybe, I don't know. The wilderness mechanics, I don't care. I'm just going to blow the inventory spaces, and if it's suboptimal, who cares at the end of the day? And one thing I like about the Arceus spellbook that is a little dissimilar to the Ancients, if you cast a Wilderness level teleport, it'll be in red instead of green, I believe. Is a nice little cue to let you know, hey, what you're about to do is a little bit dangerous. So I've just made a bank tag layout for what I'm going to be doing. I've thought about this, but I've not actually done it in practice. What we're going to do, we're going to teleport to the cemetery, enter into the wilderness, of course, and I think what I'll do, I'll set up my quick prayers to be protect from magic, piety, and protect item. Then we simply send it over to the chaos altar. Once we've finished using all of our bones, we will locate or orb ourselves to death in conjunction with the Wines of Zami. Looks like a couple of people are here. Sorry for the red flashes. And then we will simply use our bones on the altar. I'm very much risk averse, to say the least, so this is going to be my strategy for using all 5,000 of these bones, and that way, even if I die, it's not a huge loss. But once all my bones are utilized, I will drop myself down to 1 HP, make sure my protect item is on, and then I will die to this wine right here. It's a simple little loop, and I think if I die and lose my locator orb, I might be able to teleport on the Arceus spellbook to Draenor, which is kind of a nice little side byproduct. I believe you need to buy these from Ava. These are from the Dragon Slayer 2 quest, but yes, that is what one inventory looks like. Perhaps I need to figure out a better spawn point. Priv might be a bit better, but I don't know. I'll play around with this and see how I go. I think one little optimization I can make, I can swap the left click for each of the runes to be withdraw 1. And I can make the withdraw all the left click for the bones, so I can go bop, 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 bop. Make sure I never withdraw my entire stack of runes, that would be devastating. And yeah, that means the rebank is a nice quick process. So this is definitely working out well. However, I'm going to up the greediness a little bit. I'm going to start taking 2 inventories worth. If you note the dragon bones and pay 50 coins per bone, I believe you can unnote them at the altar. And because I'm using the 2200 total world, I'm noticing that there is not a whole lot of activity. Now, if I die once, I'm probably going to go back to 1 inventory trips, but whilst things are quiet and whilst things look relatively safe, I'm going to give it a go. And if we look at our bone count, I guess you'll be able to see how long I last before I get killed. So the new inventory should look something like this. I don't feel 100% great about it, but yeah, man, this just feels like a little bit too safe. I'm all for being a pussy in the wilderness, but this is just, yeah, that was next level. I'm kind of oscillating between bringing 1 or 2 inventories worth. I did get spooked before. I get comfy. If somebody's sitting here with a bulwark, I'm kind of more than likely to chill here with 2 inventories. But if I go to bank one time and everybody's gone and there's bolts on the floor, I start asking questions. But we've hit 96 prayer, so that means I think we now hit the maximum amount of prayer points per dose. I do believe that is correct, so that is a fantastic thing to get done. Still haven't died yet, but a little bit scared. This place is still pretty sus, even if you've got a pretty decked out setup, but I think I'm okay for now. Actually, I'm not going to say that. If I jinx it and get myself killed, it's my own fault, but we'll take the prayer level for now. Getting closer and closer on that max combat level. I definitely was not keen to do this grind. I find like these wilderness sort of things, I feel like my heart can't handle it. For some reason, something about like PvP, when I'm not like interested in doing it, it like gets my heart rate up to a level that it's like, is this a problem? But anyway, I had an interesting situation here. I logged out in front of this guy, I looked him up on the high scores, saw that he was an Ironman, he's maxed, and I'm like, okay, friendly fire, that can't be the case. What ended up happening? About 10-15 seconds later, I log in, and lo and behold, the man is camping my spawn point, and I had to make a mad dash to try and bury these bones as fast as I possibly could. Got a little bit tied up there. It's so strange, man. You have a plan in your head of what you're gonna do if somebody comes, but as soon as the like adrenaline kicks in, you have like a few seconds where your physiology fails you and you don't do exactly what you'd planned. But in the end, Zuck my ass has claimed 9 big bones from me, or dragon bones, but I took a closer look at his high scores. If you look at the before and after between those 2 screenshots, you'll notice he did max, and then he de-ironed, and then he did a bit more progress. So, man's out here de-ironing his account so he can get 20k at the Wilderness Altar, but you know what? I think when I max, my trajectory might go a little bit differently. But with that said, the Wilderness Altar, definitely a very chaotic place. These 2 guys just logging in on the same game tick. I think if I were to give you an honest evaluation of whether or not the 2200 worlds were better than a standard world, I'd definitely say they would be. I think like a lot of that shenanigans where multiple people are logging in on the same game tick goes out the window. When there's multiple, when there's 2200 total levels behind doing so, yeah, there's not exactly a giant pool of people who are doing that, but it's definitely a hostile place. I'm doing my best to protect my bones. Getting 97 prayer is quite good. I'm getting more experience than I thought I would from the banked XP. Because like I said, I originally calculated things to be sinister offerings basically, but eventually I came to the conclusion it was worth it to bring a crafting cape, so I wanted to just show you like a quick little banking demonstration. I know in these videos you can kind of see a montage of somebody burying bones, but you don't really see like the mechanics of how they die and what happens after they get to the point where they're restocking, but I don't know, man. Like, there's a lot of people in this place that aren't super threatening, and if you are going to die, they can just kind of help you out. So if you plan for that in your entire strategy, your whole strategy relies on you dying at the end of using 1 inventory, you might get to the point where people trying to kill you is actually helpful, but I really am protective of my inventory up until the point that I've used about 1/3 of my bones. I find that if somebody logs in underneath me, tries to kill me, and I've used 1/3 of my bones already, I don't really like care too much. I will try to log out, of course, but at this point, like, there's very few people that will deal enough DPS that quickly that'll take you out before you get to use most of your bones at the very least. But I don't know, man. I think about up until this point, I might have lost about 10 dragon bones. I've kind of learnt that if I'm going to die, I'm going to spam drop my bones and kind of let them go on the floor. Reason being, because if you come back, you can't loot your bones if they're just on the ground, but if you drop them before you die, they're still technically your item, and occasionally you get times like this where you can just yoink them back into your inventory, use them, and then just have the person who killed you send you back to your respawn location even faster, and have a quick reset. And more things felt a little bit hot, I thought I'd better do some farming, still keeping up with those, and as a result, we've gotten ourselves 94 farming. Just finishing up a farming contract here. It's a nice quality of life that you can no longer interface through 8 different text dialogues before you get your next task. Looks like a redwood that I've pre-planted has already been assigned to me. Great. We've chained like 3 things together in this moment, but what I'm going to do after my farming guild adventures come to a close, I'm actually going to go to pest control. We're sitting very, very close to level 98 prayer, and I want to kind of get a few pest points and see kind of like how viable it is to train prayer on an Ironman with the old pest control. Now that I get myself 8 points per game, that's really going to add up quite quick. I know there's a penalty for prayer, but I think it shouldn't matter too much. Did I just chain together 4 things? Oh, damn it, I did land to dimes. That's okay, got very close. I've been doing a lot of Snapdragon farming. I want to make some brews in preparation for some certain content coming up. But yes, we're going to go to pest control after this, trying to bank as much prayer experience as I can, and then maybe have a nice little 99 prayer display. I kind of want to get from 98 to 99 prayer as fast as I can, and I think pest control is the best way to do it. Definitely not efficient. I think it's about 60k per hour, but I enjoy doing pest control, as weird as that sounds. So yeah, that's just the way I've decided I'm going to do it. And like I've said from the very beginning, this series is kind of just about having fun. So I think this is going to be a fun way to train some prayer and get myself another 99. Also very keen on getting 126 combat. That'll look very, very clean. I'm sick of seeing red usernames when I right click people, alright? I should also mention that whilst I play out my games, I'm going to be making as many headless arrows as I can so I can kind of bank up some fletching experience in the future. So maybe if I train something like Sepulchre, I'll have a little side grind I can do at the same time. And I know I could be patient, I could get magic logs, U-logs from PVM drops and make those into longbows and all that, but I'm just getting, yeah, a little bit impatient. I think I need about 350,000 headless arrows, 350,000 arrowheads to go along with that, so I mean, we'll see how much damage we can do. So I did a little bit of damage. We've now hit the max limit. If you weren't aware, if you get 4,000 pest points, the game just stops you. It's like, hey bro, relax, you've done enough. So I can no longer obtain any more pest points. Getting 8 per game, what is that, 500 games of pest control? Not too shabby. But along this grind, as well as in the past, I've been working on these headless arrows. As a result, we've got our 350k ready to go. What that means, essentially, is that 99 fletching is pretty much banked. I went and bought myself 350,000 broad arrowheads to go along with it. These just need to be combined. This will take some time, but the good news is it can be done passively. So what I've done here, I've hopped welds, and I've set my, there's a plugin called PC Rewards, and what I've done, I've stripped everything away. I can't possibly unlock experience outside of prayer in an interval of 100. If I do check this in, I'll get myself the guaranteed 10% extra buff. If you check in 100 at a time, that is what happens naturally. But unfortunately, we don't have enough banked to get from where we are now to where we want to be at 99. So after this birdhouse run, what I'm going to do, I'm going to once again use a calcified moth for the first time in a while, head off to the Camtorum entrance and organize myself some wines. I honestly forget how to train that method. But yeah, blessed bone shards as well as regular wines I think is what I need. And that should give me a quick little 50k XP or so. And I think at that point we will have enough to close the distance. So we'll finish this birdhouse run, get those blessed shards underway, and then finish off this skill. A nice little tip I got from a fellow Ironman, KQT, is if you take a pestle and mortar with you for your birdhouse runs, what you can do is process these into the crushed bird nest form whilst you do your runs actively. That way you don't have a big debt that you need to repay when the grind comes to an end and you've just got several thousand bird nests in your bank. So if you stay on top of it as you go, you don't run into that problem. I really like little tips like that. Obviously, there's like big macro changes you can make in an Ironman's trajectory with guides or whatever that help you along the way, but those little things, those little details, they definitely all add up and help you progress faster than you normally would. This does feel very like ceremonious walking through this space. It's kind of nostalgic in a weird way. It's new content, but at the start of this Ironman account, this was kind of like, I don't know, my kind of foundation. This is where I got a lot of experience. And I think it'll be kind of cool to kind of like almost wrap the skill up here. It's kind of like when you get to the end of a video game and you like return to an old level before you take on the final boss. I forgot to bless the jugs of wine. But yeah, it's just kind of cool. A bit of a throwback, a bit of an homage to how this account used to be and where we came from. This room is still very, very claustrophobic. That's okay. Claustrophobia is not going to stop me from getting myself 98 prayer. Let's just spam click this one. The only one I'm going to worry too much about is the 99, but there is 98. We've now hit level 126. We cannot go any further. This is the final destination for combat. but we still got one prayer level to go. But I can't stop myself. There's no way halfway through this inventory am I going to stop myself from using these wines, so I'll finish these off, and then we'll make a final pit stop at pest control. I'd totally forgotten how satisfying it was to just redeem these back to back to back. Those EXP drops, man, they are definitely very satisfying to watch. But once we head to pest control, I think I can do a little bit better. So for those of you who have never accrued 4,000 pest points and decided to dump them all at once, this is what it looks like. I recommend you get yourself that aforementioned plugin, by the way, so you make sure you get the right thing at the right time and you don't manage to accidentally purchase something you're not interested in. So we'll select the 100 option, you'll see the extra 10% confirmation, and then we will simply repeat this over and over until we get 99 prayer. Very much a surreal kind of experience. Like, I know in this moment I have 99 prayer, it's over 1 million EXP away, but at the same time it's only a minute or two before it's complete. This very much is like reminiscent of like building a sandcastle. Like, you spend so long building it up just so you can destroy it in the end. But yeah, we've still got ourselves 200 pest points, which is a luxury, but that's no matter. 99 prayer is complete, the sandcastle has been destroyed, and we can no longer progress in our combat level at all. No more decimal places. 126.1 is where we will remain for the rest of time. But I must say, if there's any skill cape that I would buy purely based on the amount alone, the prayer cape would definitely be up there. Now, don't ask me why, but I've been playing a bit of pest control post that 99. I was thinking maybe instead of buying the cape, apparently it just operates as a holy wrench substitute. So I don't know, man. That seems like a bit of an inventory clog, a bit of a bank clog, not for a whole lot of benefit. I was thinking, how can we make this moment special? I thought the best way we could commemorate this wonderful achievement would be to combine my Basilisk Jaw with my Neat's Helm. Only problem is, I don't know how to do it apparently without Olaf the Bard's help. So I've grabbed my Fremenic boots here. I've brought a stash of coins. I've never made a face guard before, but I assume any kind of thing like this generally comes with a bit of a fee. It'd be nice if it didn't, but I thought, you know, you get one teleport per day. I don't want to take any chances. Hopefully he doesn't need like 7 raw sharks and some dumb Fremenic related stuff. Only problem is, I don't remember where Olaf the Bard even stands. Is it beneath the Fremenic area? I believe so, but yeah, I could be very wrong. Now that doesn't make any sense because it's the cherry bomb guy, right? He's the guy that during the trials you play the little song along. He's the old mate that's a bit of an accomplice or something like that. I don't read text dialogue. There he is. Alright, Olaf, I'm going to show you my jaw and you're going to tell me what to do with it. Alright, so if we go through the dialogue, let's see. Can I just hold down the spacebar? You know, maybe he just told me what to do with it. It looks like, yes, we can attach the jaw to the helmet. We now have the very first time a face guard. It actually gives you +6 strength boost. Nice. I think regular Neat's Helm, what is it, +3 or something? It's actually a bigger upgrade than I thought it was. I don't know why, but for some reason I thought the Tanzanite helm, or whatever it's called, had a similar strength bonus, maybe +5, but yeah, 6. Very, very sick. Quite a good looking upgrade as well. So now that 99 Pro is done and my face guard has been unlocked, I just pivoted a little bit towards Slayer, and I've had a very nice thought come to my mind. Because I'm 99 prayer, I no longer need to use the offering spells, which means that if I ever get myself a task, I don't need to be picking things up and stressing about leaving ashes on the floor. Now obviously from a rank perspective, that would make a lot of sense to continue picking them up, but I'm going to give myself some permission to lay off the gas for a little while. I think in particular what I'm most looking forward to is barraging Necreals again. I think you still get some pretty respectable seeds even if you barrage them in the catacombs. It's definitely got nothing on the Slayer Tower Necreals when you use a melee, but at the very least, I don't have to worry about using those offering spells to get more prayer experience. It's like a very unexpected quality of life upgrade. I no longer need to worry about picking up bones and ashes or any of that stuff, at least for now. But with that said, it is time to do myself an Abyssal Demons task. So I've been doing this Abyssal Demon task. I've killed about 30 of them. I've been flicking in the following manner, and I've only just realized that there's something missing from this equation. The answer behind the mystery on how I'm losing health right now is that I haven't fixed my quick prayers from pest control. I'm still just flicking piety on and off, and I haven't updated it to include any protection prayers at all. It just goes to show how strong this gear is, because I can mess up for 20 minutes or however long I've been here and only slightly notice it. I'm not getting absolutely mauled like I would have been in the past with a fighter torso and rune plate legs. So yeah, in conclusion, I like Bando's armor. It is quite good, and also not setting up your quick prayers is quite bad. So I actually took these off my block list. I had a plan with the Noxious Hellbird. If you just kind of pray mage and kill these with the Hellbird, you can kill both the basic ones and the superiors quite easily. Doing so obviously gives you worm bones, and then once you get those worm bones, it's a lot of prayer experience to gain. But before I've had the chance to even do this task once, my prayer's 99. I don't need to do it anymore. So I did put Calphites on the block. However, I'm not too sure what to do with this now. I'll probably just end up cancelling them. And I'm more than happy to cancel any task necessary to make sure we get ourselves some Araxites. This one's definitely my favourite task at the moment. Nothing overly interesting from that task. We did get ourselves another Araxite head. That's a 1 in 2k drop. But if you thought one Necreal's task was decent, I've got myself a second. I've been using the task swapping feature quite a lot recently. I find it really handy to kind of like have 2 tasks ready to go, and I kind of can make a plan around both of those tasks. But sometimes you get to double up, and this time I get to double up on one of my favorite monsters, and I get to barrage him. It's a good day today. So basically anything that can potentially increase my chances of getting that imbued heart, it's a bit of a green tick for me. I do hate to deliver bad news, but we didn't end up getting a heart. What we did get, however, were 2 Greater Demons tasks back to back, and like I mentioned, I've been stockpiling 2 tasks at a time, and I very much like having 2 of the same thing. It's like one big Uber task that you kind of just check in with the Slayer Master halfway through. I thought I'd do these Greater Demons a little differently this time. We need to head to Zami God Wars and prepare for some TOA, so that was the plan that I had in mind once I got these 2 tasks. Now that I've got my 2 Greater Demon tasks, I'm very much equipped to try out some Zami God Wars. I think in reserve I've got upwards of 450 kills I could theoretically do. But once I had those Slayer tasks set up, I wasn't quite ready to go, so instead I came to the Master Farmer, and the goal here, I'm sure you might be able to imagine, is to get 100 Raynar seeds. So I'm not leaving this potato field until I get this. If you've never set this up before, once you're 94 thieving, get your rogues outfit, you can essentially pin a Master Farmer in place. If you talk to them, hold down your space bar and let that first text dialogue go through. Don't get the second one as well, but once you do that, they'll be locked in place. So if somebody crashes you, or if they accidentally interrupt you, you can either hop worlds or you can just reset it in like 3 seconds. It's very simple. I watched a guide for this on like how to set it up, and it was like kind of confusing. I just wanted to make it as simple as possible. So yeah, don't get intimidated about setting this up. It's very, very easy, and if you screw it up, it's like 2 seconds to try once again. I actually haven't done any thieving in so long, like this feels very weird to actually come back here, but throughout this journey I've gotten 98 Raynar seeds. I still just need one more successful pickpocket. I've almost got, what is it, about 70% of a level, bit over 60%, so it's definitely not good for the old wrist, but I think every now and again if I just go on a bit of a thieving bender, that'll both resupply my Raynar seeds and also make a little bit of progress towards getting it to 99. I still need to get some Pharaoh Scepters for various teleports in my house, so there's a few other things that I need to do before hitting 99, but thieving, I think it's one of those skills that even if you do get 99, it's kind of like fishing perhaps, or even cooking, like you're probably going to train it after the fact as well. I used to be really paranoid about like wasting post 99 experience, but I think for this Ironman, like there's just so many things, like Slayer in particular, it's like, do I just stop at 19 mil? Like probably not, there's still things I need to get. My brain's definitely not in the 200 mil grind set. I don't think I'll ever get a 200 mil in this game, but at the very least it doesn't feel like a waste of time if I'm going post 99, which is good. Because it can feel like a little restrictive if you are limiting yourself to, I've only got X amount of experience left, I have XYZ that needs to get done, and I'm wasting an opportunity if I don't do so in the right order. It can be like mentally stressful. I guess I'm just glad to not have that weight on my shoulders any longer. Why is it always the last 2 that you need take the longest to get? But anyway, there's my 100 Raynar seeds. So just to give a bit of context, I've got my seed box here. I emptied it before I came. Ignore the potato seeds. I've been doing birdhouse runs. They got a little bit mixed up. So if we check this, 100, I need to plant these more. What? That's actually so good because the ratio of like Raynar to snapegrass seeds, if that's like kind of perfect, I can just go hard in the paint in both of those. But yeah, like this is ridiculous. You never fail at 94. The rogue's outfit doubles everything. This thing does not move. It's very easy to pivot to do a birdhouse run. Things are looking good, man. It's just, it kills your wrist. So if you're willing to trade like physical health for in-game seeds, then this is absolutely amazing. But now that that is all complete, I'm going to do myself a herb run, a birdhouse run, and then send it over to Zami God Wars. Fortunately, I have a pretty good template for setting things up at Zami. What I've got here is the current setup I'm going to rock. I'm going to splurge out, use a few dragon arrows for this. I'm going to have the bofa, the blowpipe, as well as the scorching bow. The scorching bow will just be there to kind of get that first kill down. And I recently found out that you can do a door alter method for Zami as well. So I feel like some of that skill set from the Bando's door alter should transition over to the Zami one. I'm getting absolutely ass blasted. But once we get through this obstacle here, I think we'll be home and hosed. But also low-key, this fit is looking absolutely fresh. The downside to doing bandos is that you obviously can't do it on task, and this Slayer helm definitely goes with the aesthetic. So I'm just setting it up at the moment. I want to make it as close to the bando setup as I had before. I've just used the tile packs plugin to kind of lay out where these tiles need to be. And this way I'm going to make the color scheme color coordinated, so if my brain farts for a moment, I'm not going to get caught off guard. So if I mark these on top of the ones that are already set, I know where to stand, when to shoot, and which direction I need to go in. I think for me personally, just having all this laid out before I get in will help, because when you're learning something, like, you make a lot of brain farts, and if I can simplify it or give me as many cues to succeed as possible, I think that'll be the way to go. So I think the strategy here will be to move into this corner here, use the scorching bow to lock this bad boy in place, nuke him down with either the scorching bow or the bofa. And then from there, I believe we kill the black demon first, then group these two boys together and burst them to get our... Oh, I don't have ancients. Oh, I take off my... Everything's going wrong. Okay, so this is automatically scuffed. That's, I don't know. I'm glad this is just a learning trip, I suppose. But yes, the goal will be to get 100 kill count. There is several items that I need, the most important of which is the Zamorakian spear. I need to get myself a Huster or two. I do want to upgrade my Huster into a Dragon Hunter Lance. I think that'll be a sick upgrade. And we have the Hydra Claw in the bank ready to go. That's one item. I continuously give the wrong name. But anyway, I'm going to jump into this instance and see if I can actually get a kill count. Okay, so we're on the board. That didn't go too badly. I don't know these mobs very well. Like the goblins in the Grador room, I understand what each of them do, and I haven't kind of built that relationship with these guys, so I don't know how to tick flick, so going to keep it simple. Deadeye, Steel Skin, call it a day. So my understanding of this setup, because I have 3 different weapons, they each have different attack speeds. That is just coincidence, but I need to use the bofa if I'm going to do the door alter method, but I'm going to lock in for this kill and hopefully I don't screw it up. I appeared to have screwed it up. I guess on the plus side I can switch my spellbook while I'm down here in the basement. I think the biggest mistake I made is I didn't wait 1 tick before shooting. I was looking at my replay and I noticed that was a bit of an issue. I also think I've flip-flopped the color scheme. I think everything that's green needs to be red and then vice versa as well. I'm hoping if I allow for that additional tick before I shoot, that will put things into sync, but these are the sorts of things. If you're like 1 tick off, it could definitely throw everything off, but there could also be multiple factors. So I'll fix one thing at a time, and if I get plowed down again, I guess I'll try and find the second source of my problems. That should be a little better. I also want to mark the true tile of the boss as well. That way I can kind of see for sure if my my timing are a bit weird. But anyway, I think it is time for round 2. Wish me luck. After this KC, oh my goodness. Boss is down, but I just realized I've forgotten to bring actual blood barrage, which is handy. I think this time around I'm just gonna use my spec and hopefully that can get me out of this sticky situation. I think in the future I need to recognize when I've screwed up, use the scorching bow to bail me out. That minion just died and dropped a shard. I'm so I must have misclicked the minion, killed it mid boss kill, and gotten a godsword shard. This is so scuffed, but I'll take it. That would have been the minion from the previous kill as well, I believe. The ranger that never died. I think it just slowly died to the venom damage from the blowpipe. Can't make this up. I think that went okay. That might be the first kill that doesn't seem like I totally fluked it. It's such a relief when things start working, but I am pretty much out of food here. The fact that I don't have blood barrage is really going to hold me back. I think when I resupply here, if I can, pending I can actually kill all 3 of these minions, I might be able to come back with a bit of a stronger setup. I think this is inventory 3 or 4. I'm starting to get it down. I didn't forget an anti-venom. We've got the blood runes on the right spell book. I think we're good to go. We've got 35 kills ready to enter the boss room. We're not going to switch off the Zami cape and get hit by minions before we go in. I think we've got this down. Only problem is my spec bar is insanely low. This could be an issue. At least my herbs are done, that's good. Alright, we are safe. For now. Somehow I don't think I have this set up correctly. I'm gonna bail out with a scorching bow. The muscle memory's not there, but I'm glad I've got it. I just need to make sure I use it. I think I attacked one tick too early again. That seems to be the biggest thing that screws me over. Another super clean kill there. It definitely is just that muscle memory to just delay a tick before you attack is just not built. Because with bandos, you kind of have to attack him from the get-go. If you're not 100% sure what I mean, see that little moment, that 1 little second that I take before I shoot, that's the most important part of the kill so far. I think I'm at the point where I don't mind maybe using a blowpipe spec here and there. It's so good when the blowpipe just hits absolutely nothing when you spec. Yeah, I think any kill that I can manage to get myself that 1 tick delay, there's like, at this point, like a 90% chance I don't screw it up, which is such a good feeling, man. Alright, I think I greeted that one a little bit, but at least I got the boss kill. It's almost 20k C done. 81 more to go. I thought I would include an unedited kill here. This is going to be live. I'm going to do it much like I did with the bandos kill, waiting that first tick there. I found that once you see him start to move, that's like my visual cue. But I wanted to include a raw kill, just, I don't know. Last time I tried to do it, I may have died the first time around, but this time I'm going to master it. I really do feel I'm at the point where the only way I can screw things up is if I do something that I know is wrong. And the good thing about that is that I can identify the problem and I can fix it. Not like bandos where you chuck on the protect from melee, but with this one, the get out of jail free card is a little bit easier. With that scorching bow, I kind of just run to the other side of the room and I can bind him in place and kind of make it up that way. But there is a full kill, only 40 seconds. Having this on task is absolutely amazing. It's like a hot knife through butter and the kills are very, very clean. And for some reason, the game just, almost just got chanced. The game has been dropping me a bit more food recently, which is also very nice. But once the mage is dead, the black demon, I just put these two guys together. I might 1-tick prayer flick the following prayers. And even if I'm not alternating, because I have so much defense, due to Deadeye as well as Steel Skin, I don't really take too much damage. And because I have an excess of food, even if I do, it's probably going to be okay. 33-1 is Ami so far this trip. This is my longest trip by far so far, but definitely getting the hang of it. This is such a great byproduct of doing this. Wine of Zami is definitely a bottleneck for me. This next kill will be KC number 50, which marks the halfway mark. I'm just kind of extending this trip for as long as I possibly can. In the bandos room, if I ran out of ranging potions, I'd normally just teleport out because the DPS loss is so substantial, but with the Slayer Helm, it kind of feels like I'm potted up doing bandos, so even though the kills aren't as good, obviously, I can still get by, and some of the kills are remarkably quick. Unlike bandos, we have a get out of jail free card. This is part of the reason why I can extend my trip so long. There we go, that should be a dead krill. Let's see if number 50, the halfway mark, do we get a combat achievement? It looks like we do. That's the only thing we're going to see though, as there's nothing on the floor that I'm particularly interested in. I think as fun as it may be to stay here for borderline forever, I'm going to cap it at 200 essence here. I feel like I've got more kills in this trip than I ever did in bandos ever, so I definitely would call that a success. I was very nervous to learn this method, but I think having that bandos kind of transfer across into this and having that backup strat with the scorching bow has just definitely made this infinitely better. I think the only downside to the kill times being a little bit slower without ranging pots is my run energy. I've found that I had to be a little bit more conservative towards the end of the kills, otherwise if I ran out of run I would have to use some scorching bow specs and get myself back to safety. Okay, so there's the final kill. I thought it died quicker than it did indeed. That'll be kill count number 69. We're going to mop up these mobs, re-gear, grab some ranging pots, and finish off 100 kills, and hopefully we get something decent. But I think even without any direct drops, the fact that we've essentially mastered this method, we've got so many wines of Zamis, and I essentially feel confident to do as many kills as necessary to get it whatever I actually need. I personally think that's more of a win than a drop itself, and the fact that we've got a full Godsword blade ready to go in the bank is absolutely cooked. Let's see that 200 tick over. Oh yeah. Let's check this out. Let's put this God Sword shard away. Just want to double check I actually have all of them. But yeah, I got God Sword shard 1, 2, and 3. If I really felt like it, I could make myself a second BGS, but somehow I don't think that's going to be overly useful. I think I might update my tab to look something like this. Definitely ran out of ranging pots very quickly. And if these run out super fast as well, I might even use the regular ranging pots. I'm not too sure. A little bit torn on that because obviously they last longer. They're just not as potent. So I'll try it out, bring forward divine rangings. We'll see how we go. I got kind of lucky with the RNG of the drops from like food and super restores. So that isn't always going to happen. So preparing in such a way, pretending like that's going to be consistent, I think that might be a little bit foolish, but we'll see how this run goes, and then we'll make any adjustments if we need to. I think this inventory pretty much went perfectly. It was a little bit hairy getting to this KC. There was a couple of kills where I needed to prayer flick a little bit and not use Deadeye. I had to use like the lower level prayer, the lower defense prayer, just to conserve points a little bit. But eventually one of the minions clutched up, gave us a super restore, and now we're kind of chilling. We're back into the business class of getting these kills done, not worrying about those economy prayers. But they do come in handy from time to time. Even though those prayers, they're a bit outdated, they're a bit unnecessary, they do help because their drain rate is much lower. I really do like that kind of balancing perspective, but with that said, this will be the final kill of the video. 100 Zami has been achieved. We've unlocked the ability to kill this monster in the first place quite confidently, and we've got ourselves a combat task that encapsulates that accomplishment. So 99 prayer today, very happy with that. Mastering Zami in the process as well this video. So now we have those tools to get what we need, and it's just a matter of time before Krill and the boys give me what I'm looking for. So I'll catch you in the next one. Hopefully we can get ourselves our very first Zami Hasta, and maybe a second one if I'm lucky. With that said, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.